Hi there, gang, and welcome to the Our Stress-Free TV show. See, I did it for the first time. I actually said it right from the beginning.
Hooray!
Next step, we need an applause button because I feel like I've accomplished something big here as opposed to stumbling over everything else that I've always said. So, Our Stress-Free Wedding TV, bam.
Boom.
Branding it, we own it. That's how it works. Hey, welcome to the show. We are so excited that you are here. We have got a huge show today. So we are not going to take up a lot of time because I want to get to Logan as soon as possible because, wow, he's got a lot of really amazing stuff going on. But I do want to tell everybody this. This is neat. Andrew and I had a fantastic meeting today with one of the larger venues here in the Blackhawk County area. And we, Our Stress-Free Wedding, are going to be hosting a wedding show.
That's exciting.
I can't wait. It's we don't have the date and everything set up, so we're not getting into that. But one of the things that I can tell you that we're structuring this is that the show is going to be Our Stress-Free Wedding vendor exclusive.
So when clients or people who just coming on through, any vendor that they're going to talk to, they're going to know that they are certified, they're vetted, they're going to be
Confident,
good to go.
We are working on the platform, and I haven't put this up on the website yet because I don't want to get angry phone calls. But what we always talk about is wanting to remove the "gosh, I hope they don't suck" factor. And when couples are starting out on their big day, and you're looking through Facebook and Google and everything out there, everybody can have a nice website. Anybody can build a nice Facebook page. In fact, anybody at a wedding show can put on a tie. I actually do own one.
I own several.
I have one. I borrow the rest from my 20-year-old son. But my point is that at a wedding show you can put on a nice face. You can talk good for 2 hours, and you might absolutely be terrible at what you do, as a DJ, as a photographer, as a caterer, as a venue, whatever it is. But at a wedding show, you can look good for a couple hours.
For sure.
And when couples walk through wedding shows, I've noticed this for years, and it always kind of makes me giggle. Is when people walk through a wedding show, everybody has that same look on their face. It's like if you've ever been to Vegas or New York, any of the awe kind of cities, L.A., New York, Vegas, stuff like that. Everybody gets that same kind of glazed look on their face. You get the same look at a wedding show because you are so inundated by so many different, everybody's shoving stuff in your face and everybody's suggesting this. Absolutely. It's a big fight. So what we're going to do at the Our Stress-Free Wedding show is we are going to assure you, like Andrew said, every professional there has already gone through a complete check with our staff. And now as we're getting bigger, we're being able to do more peer reviews with other members of Our Stress-Free Wedding.
Yeah.
So now what we want to do is we want to get rid of the "gosh, we hope they don't suck" factor and add the fact that now anybody you talk to, is going to take great care of you. So now it comes down to a matter of what fits, and especially, as a DJ service, there's different DJs with different styles. There's different energy, and you may not fit with this one, but you may fit better with this one. We're going to have a variety of them at the show.
Absolutely.
And so it's same thing with photographers, to find that style, to find that vibe that works with you will make your day even more stress-free. And knowing that every professional that you talk to at this show has been through that process is just going to help put your mind that much more at ease. And I am so excited for this show.
It's going to be great to have them too.
I can't wait. I'm thrilled. So Logan's on off camera, let's bring him on because I see him out of the corner of my eye, and I got to turn this off because he's on my side monitor, and I know if I look this way, I'm looking at him, and I'm going to spend the whole time looking this way. It's going to get weird. So Logan, you've been nicely nodding your head during this whole thing here. What do you think about bringing all of these vendors together under one roof and give brides an opportunity to talk to all of us?
It's going to be great. I'm excited to have a lot of people that share the same vision and the same approach to weddings. And I think that's a lot of what you're building here. And putting us all in the same room together might be dangerous as a vendor team because we might shut the place down just sharing stories and swapping different approaches. It's going to be like a mini convention for wedding professionals. I'm excited.
Oh, my gosh. That's a great idea to kind of brand it that way.
Maybe when it's all said and done,
we could have one hell of an after party.
Uh-huh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you, this is Logan from It's Electric Entertainment and Black Tie Transportation. This guy does a whole bunch of stuff. He's out of Burlington, Iowa, and we are thrilled that we were able to work out our schedules to have you on the show, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
I'm excited to be here.
Let's talk. Let's break this down because you guys do You do a ton of stuff. So let's start with the DJ side of stuff.
Sure.
Let's start simple. How long have you been doing this?
Professionally, weddings, about 7 years. Before that, I did work for a different company for about 2 or 3 years, as definitely one of their DJs. But
Mhm.
Electric Entertainment has been around for about 7 years, going strong, and really it kind of exploded since we moved down to Burlington. My wife and I used to live up in Dubuque before that, and
Oh.
before that we were even up in Wisconsin, and so we've kind of hit the entire east coast of Iowa all the way down. And so our time here in Burlington has been great. We've definitely exploded and filled a need. I think in the communities down here in Southeast Iowa.
That is absolutely fantastic, and it's so true, and kind of going back to what we said before, all of the vendors that are on the platform, we've done the research, we've had conversations, we've looked at the reviews, we've had a chance to get to know people, and Logan and I have had a chance not to talk in great detail, but this is really our first big conversation. But prior to that, before reaching out to you, we did the research on your business and on your reviews, and man, brides love you guys.
We
Which
have
is
fun.
awesome.
I have to tell them. I say it looks like I'm having a lot of fun, but I promise I'm working at your wedding. I promise. I promise it's more than just me getting behind the decks and playing some fun music. So yeah, I've been doing it for a while, and I think I really got into it when I started getting that feedback back. They said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. We'd love to have you to keep coming back for." I've done 2 or 3 different daughters in the same family before, and really, when you get that energy from these clients, they say, "Man, you're having fun with us, and we really appreciate your energy." That's what keeps I think that's what keeps all of us DJs out there doing it. But that's really what made me want to keep pursuing it a little bit more seriously after college. I was doing it here and there, and kind of just picked up a lot more
I think
once we
that's
started having
awesome,
more
and
fun.
you're so right. That energy, you feed off it. I mean, it brings you to as the DJ, and you sit back and you look, like during the dancing, you look out at the full dance floor and you see the bride in the middle of this crazy crowd of people dancing, and just that energy, that excitement, that joy that runs through you as the DJ. I love. I mean, my gosh, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still love that moment. I still love that, and you're so right. And when it's like you said, it looks like you're having fun, but actually you're working. I think that is absolutely a perfect. It's like what's that duck analogy? Nice and smooth above the
Smooth on the
water,
water.
but paddling like hell below the
Uh
water.
huh.
I think a truly good DJ is exactly that. You want to look like you are part of the party because you're part of that celebration, but in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I got to think of, what's coming next. And you got to think a few songs in
Ahead.
advance. You're
Yeah.
not just thinking of in the moment what's happening on your dance floor. You're thinking about what your couple wants, what your wedding party wants, what their guests want, all of the factors that go into that. Agreed?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
It's so many moving parts, and it's how do you make it look effortless while hitting everything? And
it's so true. Absolutely. Now, how big of an area do you guys cover?
it depends. I was actually just up in Milwaukee for a wedding last weekend,
Ah.
and we get down into Missouri, and I've been over into Michigan before too. But we primarily cover the Southeast Iowa, Western Illinois, Northern Missouri area.
Sure.
But because of my background up in Northeast Iowa, up by Decorah, is where I originally started, and that's really where I grew up. I still get up there for about a third of my season. I think I still spend or send guys up to kind of that northeast corner. And so we kind of hit anywhere from Decorah all the way down through Cedar Rapids, Iowa City into Burlington. So kind of, like I said, really that eastern side of Iowa
Sure.
we kind of cover.
That's fantastic. And talking about, the impact that you make on a couple's day, and, especially I'm guessing, is going back to like the Decorah area, which is a bit of a hike for you. It's got to be because people remember you. People remember that moment and they think, "Ooh, I want that for my reception." Correct?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. That, and I think because of a lot of the elements that we can bring, and we'll discuss a little bit later, some of them want that DJ, photo booth, wedding planner all in one place, and your platform, our stress free, is kind of our background mantra too, right? We want to be as stress free as possible, and so if you can book that photo booth with the same guy that you're already working with, why wouldn't you? If you can have the wedding planner be from that same company that already knows your timeline, already knows your music, already knows a lot of those other vendors, that's really where we've kind of diversified to make sure that it is stress free for our brides, and that's that's really important to us.
So much, and that is so cool, and that's one of the things that I think is great. So that we can touch on the photo booth for a second, because photo booths are always fun. So talk about what do you offer with your photo booth packages? What can couples expect with that?
Sure. So we do kind of two styles. We do a digitals, and then we do a prints option. A lot of your current brides are more of that millennial generation. They want to be the images texted to them. So we do a text only option. Excuse me. Text only option that goes directly to their phones, and then we format it so it's Instagram style, so they can immediately upload it to the Square template, and it looks really nice. And then we do a print option, and we also offer the guest book photo booth style. So as they come in, they can get a picture of their guest.
Nice.
I think that's my favorite because I'm biased. I did it for my own wedding, but in 30 years, I'm gonna want to look at that book of what the heck was I wearing, and why was my college friend with my father-in-law that night? True pictures I have. But in 30 years, I'm going to get to look back and say, why was he wearing that? And the alternative is cursive handwriting in a book that probably gets stuck under the mattress and left there. So we love that photo booth guest book. I think it's probably one of my favorite options.
I think that is a great addition to what you can offer somebody on their day, because you're right. The guest book, the straight signature. We had one, I know, at our wedding.
Where is it?
I
Do you know
don't
where it
have
is?
a clue. I was serious. I was going to try and say something along that lines, but I wouldn't have any idea. I'm going to have to ask my wife if she knows where it is. She's the smart one.
I've seen some cool ideas for guest books too. A buddy of mine they're big Iowa Hawkeye fans. And so they got a white jersey with their last name on it, and the number is the year that they got married. Everyone just came by with a black Sharpie and signed it.
Sure.
And then just hung it up. They framed it on their wall. I'm like,
I think that's super cute
that's
too.
cute.
But actually having pictures of everybody that comes in as a digital book like that.
For sure.
Is that something that they would save online, or how do they save that? Because I think that's really cool.
So we actually do the prints night of. So by the time they go home that night, they get the book handed to them.
So it's like a yearbook, kind of.
Yeah, we do an extra print right when they walk through that door. We put it right in, and then they can still sign next to it and then put a note. Usually they say congratulations or glad to see you again, happy to celebrate with you. And so that night we actually hand it to them at the end of it. So they get pictures, notes, all. We do a personalized frame with the colors, their names all engraved in the front of it. It's a really nice book that we get from some local vendors. Yeah, we really like that. Sitting here in the office, I should have grabbed it, but
Sorry.
it's also
awesome.
good for
I like
identifying purposes. Yes, officer, it was that person right there. And it says their name is Sean.
No, once.
Bob. We pick on Bob.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm completely innocent. Now, you had mentioned something else, is that you're talking to us from your office, and especially as a mobile DJ service. Most mobile DJ, I do it out of my garage, I do it out of my house. You have an established office, a storefront that your clients can come in and sit down and talk with you in detail. Talk to me about, why did you decide to go with more of a formal storefront kind of style as opposed to just, hanging out of your garage?
Yeah, so it's kind of new for us. We're actually going to celebrate our 1 year of ownership here. Our grand opening here is going to be about a month from now, would be a 1 year anniversary. So
congratulations.
We're still kind of fresh, still kind of loving it. But once we started moving towards a multi-op kind of system, we were looking for a space that one, I can train my employees instead of my basement, a place to store gear instead of my garage, and really a place to meet our clients that wasn't the loud coffee shop that we kept going to. Now, all respect to that coffee shop, because they carried us through for a couple of years down here. But, we just like having this shared space that they can come in, and we have examples of our previous works already on the walls, and we've branded. You can see the red jacket right behind me. It's branded. This is our space. It looks like we belong here, and I've got a little training section in the back where my guys can come in and they can mix if they want to. It's just really given us a lot of opportunities to expand kind of to that next level of professionalism, but also give our brides and our clients a place to say, yep, that's a company that has a place to go to.
Absolutely. And I think that's a piece of mind. As simple as that sounds, I think that establishes even a further degree of credibility, but it also, I think it puts in a couple's mind that you're obviously dedicated to being there. That it's not something that you're just going to be. Well, I got rid of the crap in my garage. You've got rent, you've got responsibilities. So you are established. You're there. You're someone that they know that they can book you for 2025, and you're going to be there for them, right? I mean, it really kind of sends that message of established and solid for them.
Yeah, and we really like the culture that it's created, right? We've got this culture of being community minded, and so we are located next to a couple local businesses too, and they can walk by and they see our logo on the front door and they say, yeah, this electric entertainment, they're more than just my dad's friend who's a DJ. We're pretty active in the community, so we're donating to local causes here too, because that's important to us. And so
Very
when they
cool.
walk by, they know that's a business that we can trust. It's a business we can rely on. That's a business that is part of the community more than just the weddings part of it. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean that part speaks to your character. That part speaks to just the quality of human being you are, is that being involved in the community and giving back like that, I think is huge. We do the same thing. And I think that is so important, to be appreciative and thankful to the place that has helped you grow. And by giving back to that level is just one more reason why we are so happy to have you at ourstressfreewedding.com. I think that is great. So I've got to ask you about the uniforms. How did you land on the jacket and tie? How did you land there?
I had to grab it. So the Keystone red jacket right here. This is mine. It's actually a really funny story. So my wife invited me to go to a gala fundraiser that her father-in-law invited us to, and it was when we were just dating. I wouldn't say just dating. We'd been dating for a couple years, but father-in-law, right? So I had to make a good impression, and it was Motown themed, right? And so I went to a suit shop, and I saw this red jacket, and I said, I don't know if I can pull that off. And the next day I went to buy it. Luckily, I told my wife I went to buy it because she went that afternoon to buy it too for me. And we almost ended up with two of them. But yeah, so I picked it up. I wore it to this Motown themed gala out in Michigan, and was the only man wearing a red jacket, and I killed it. It was a lot of fun. Really, really a lot of fun. And then I had a wedding the next week, and I said, man, because I was previously wearing vests. Still professional, still classy, but I said, let me try wearing that red jacket. And I wore it, and the bride afterwards, she came up, a close friend of mine, and she said, you know what was nice about that red jacket? She said, I could tell where you were at all times. She said, I knew when I walked in, you were the DJ, and I knew where you were and how to find you. And one of the key points of our business is, yeah, we're the DJ, but we're way more than that. And so I tell my clients all the time, I said, I will be the first one to pour champagne for the head table. I'll be the first one to take out the trash if it needs to be taken out. I'll be the first one to make sure that the food's ready to be served. And so that red jacket for me and my employees is now a way that people know that we're there, we're working, and we're ready to serve. And so all my employees have the red jacket. It's kind of a rite of passing when we do provide it for you. And it's just kind of been fun. And that's where the logo kind of got more established. And you see it in the corner of the screen too. And that's it's carried through. It's going on about 4 years now, the red jacket tradition. It's been a lot of fun.
I love that. I think that's awesome. I mean, just the visibility and the peace of, again, going back to peace of mind for the couples, knowing that you're there, that you're not just blending in, that you are, in uniform, and it just happens to be a really cool Motown jacket for it, which I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your couples. And I think we can kind of transition into as well. You guys are certified wedding and event planners on top of DJs, which I think is an awesome combination, because really the DJ is really kind of the central hub of most receptions. We're the ones that are going to coordinate with the venue, with the caterer, usually with a photographer, to make sure everything's working so the bride doesn't have anything to worry about. And the DJ is kind of responsible for either making those announcements or putting people in the right direction, coordinating with the photographer so they don't take the couple away for sunset pictures, or they miss sunset pictures because the DJ is going to do, first dances or something at that exact same time. So we're already kind of the central hub of everything. You've taken that a step further and become certified as a wedding planner and a wedding coordinator. So tell me, how did you get on that journey?
So number one, I have to give all credit to my wife. She's the certified wedding planner. I am the backup wedding resident expert, I guess. Yeah, so I'd been DJing long before I started dating her, and so when she started dating me, I said, "If you want to see me on Saturdays, we're going to weddings." That's what works. And so she started tagging along, and she was actually the one that brought in the photo booth to the side of the business because she said, "I want something to do," and so we got a photo booth, and then it was actually during COVID that she decided to become certified because we were already doing a lot of the planning efforts of it, right? We meet with our clients. We usually are the ones that are laying out that timeline, just because they ask,
Right.
and usually we're the ones coordinating with the photographers. And so she said, "Well, why don't we actually make sure we know what we're doing?" And so she went through and she did get certified. And since then, we've been offering wedding planning as a service. Now, I'd like to pick your brain a little bit, Sean, because I think there's a stigma in Iowa that brides don't think they need wedding planners. Would you say Iowa brides kind of have that feeling sometimes?
There's a good portion of them that think exactly that way. You are 100% right.
And I think here's my mindset. Again, just purely opinions and based on the people that we've met.
Sure.
A lot of them just haven't worked with a wedding planner before.
Not a true
And they,
professional. You know that,
yeah,
and I think that's the difference. Is that there's been too many. How do I put this? Well-intentioned Aunt Bonnies that, I'll be your wedding coordinator, and they just steamroll the hell out of that couple's wedding day. Not intentionally, but going too far because they don't have the training and qualification. And I think that stigma is kind of stuck to a lot of brides, especially in Iowa, when it comes to thinking of a wedding coordinator like a dedicated professional wedding coordinator.
yeah, and I think we've never had anyone book us and say, "Yeah, we definitely didn't need you," right? Everyone who brings us in is usually very satisfied that they brought us in. I think our approach to wedding planning is a couple different things. One, why wouldn't you have a point person for possibly the largest event that you're planning, especially
Right.
at this stage of your life? And two, I really like our approach of I like to say at the end of the day, I don't have to be at family reunions. So if I have to tell Aunt Betty, no, that's not how the bride wanted it, I have no problem with it because I'm not going to be there.
Right.
I don't have to see them again. And really, our job is just to make sure it goes smoothly, but also that the bride and groom's wishes are carried all the way through. And it's a little bit of both, right? Sometimes we do have to play mediator, and sometimes we do have to play seamstress and choreographer and a little bit of everything. But we have fun doing it. My wife does a phenomenal job. I'm not. I'm not the certified wedding planner. She is. It's just one more way that we do get to work together on Saturdays.
Sure. I think that's awesome. So let's talk more about just the process with couples. So from day one, so a couple walks in the door and they want to learn more about you, and you hit it exactly right. Why wouldn't you have a professional on what is in essence, probably at that stage of your life, the biggest part of your life? And even going forward, I mean, it's one of those monumental moments. After you're married, there's likely kids, and that's another big monumental moment. But and then your first house and kind of that stuff. But the wedding is really day one. That's the day that everybody's going to look back on, and especially when you add in like the photo booth and the guest book and stuff like that, where they have all of those great memory tools on top of it. You're really the one that kind of helps guide them through that process. So when a couple comes in and they really don't know first steps, what do you do with them? How do you help them out from there?
Yeah, usually we like to start by trying to figure out what the couple's looking for. No two couples are the same. Everyone needs to be approached very differently. And so I think our first approach is definitely to figure out what the feeling and what the vibe is for their wedding. Some people like light and airy, dark and moody. Some people are like really involved. Some people like less involved. And so our first step is to figure out what does the couple want to bring to the table, because the last thing we want to do is to sell them things that don't fit their day.
Right.
We offer this crazy amount of special add-ons and effects, and some of them have been in the pictures before, the cold sparks and the low-lying fog. But if it doesn't fit, let's not bring it in. And so we first definitely want to hear what they're looking for. And then number two, we do like to teach and educate. And so most people haven't booked a DJ before. Most
Right.
people don't know what DJs do in the 21st century, because it's very different, again, from what DJs used to do. DJs used to show up with huge speakers and heat lamps and play music and go home. And that's
God, yep. And I remember those days. I'm sorry. You're making me feel
heavy
old.
and hot. Yeah, no kidding. I had the fortunate opportunity to train under a gentleman that's been DJing for 30 years, and he's still doing it. Phenomenal opportunity, and I did get a glimpse of what passive speakers look like and how heavy they are. And there's a reason. Excuse me, active. They were active speakers.
Active, yeah.
They were heavy. They
Like
were
120-pound amps, and the things
taller
were,
than
oh my
me as
god,
yeah.
Yep. I remember the first amps that we used. If you're thinking like rack space, which people in the industry would get, they took up 4. They were 8 inches tall, just monsters, and they weighed as much as your car. Now, you couldn't put them in a case because the case wouldn't survive, so you had to carry this big beast in between everything. You brought up sorry, divulging into my olden days. You brought up a great point in that initial conversation, and that is helping the couple find what they want. And as opposed to a lot of DJs out there, photographers, there's a lot of them in the wedding industry that look at this as cha-ching. Well, they got to spend the money, so let's make them spend all of it. And there's a lot of people out there that take advantage of couples in that situation. And like you say, you've got the cold spark system, you've got the low-lying fog system, the dancing on the cloud stuff. I mean, you've got all of these great options, but you're not pushing those on a couple. You're finding what fits for them, and maybe they're a lot more simplistic. Maybe they're not looking for the big wow, kind of moment and effects. Maybe they want something more sincere and simple and just basic like that. So I think it's amazing that you actually listen to what the couple is looking for before you kind of progress forward with them.
Yeah, and then I guess I got off onto my own tangent too, but it's so easy to happen.
We're DJs.
After we have the opportunity to listen to them, we do. We definitely inform them about, hey, did you know that there are even cold sparks that are out there? I mean, these kind of really took over the DJ wedding industry, I would say, just kind of lately by storm. It's been kind of sweeping through, and so sometimes they don't know what they even have access to, and so some of it is informing them of hey, did you know we have photo booths? Hey, did you know we can do that?
Oh, sure. Well, you want to give them the options, absolutely.
My absolute favorite is when brides come to us with like their Pinterest boards or different ideas, and we're so awful about saying no. We actually have a wedding next 2 weeks from now that wanted to do a confetti first kiss after the ceremony. So huge confetti cannons coming out as they're saying yes. And you bet I just ordered some new confetti cannons for it today. That'll be here. So we're always changing and always trying to evolve with both the times, with the feeling of our couples, but we're also trying to make an experience. Our tagline, as cheesy as it is how can we make your event an experience? And we really do want it to be more than just a day. We want it to be a memory, an experience, something that everyone gets to kind of experience together, and that's really important to us.
Well, it 100% is, and it needs that kind of attention. You are every bride. I don't care how long you've been dating prior to, or even how long you've been married, or where you are in life. Maybe you're 38 years old and getting married. It doesn't matter. Every bride wants to have the kind of wedding that 10 years after their date, so on their 10-year anniversary, their guests who were at their wedding or at a different wedding, and they think, hey, this one's fun, but do you remember? And they talk about that bride's wedding. Every bride wants that for their big day, and they deserve that for their big day. So with you, as part of, call it cheesy or not, but is 100% accurate and right on point of what it should be, because they deserve that.
Yeah, and we do our best to bring it every time, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, like those pictures that you keep showing, I just keep smiling because man, it's fun. It really is. There's a CO2 cannon in there that I love. That the guy that's firing, that's my wife in her red jacket. She wears one too. I know. There's a picture in there of a CO2 cannon, and I like to hand it to grooms and say, I've never seen a groom upset as he pulls this trigger. They blare it off and they have fun. And it's about making those like once in a lifetime. I didn't think I'd ever get to.
Yeah.
Blank. Fill in the blank. And,
right.
That's what we like to bring. And again, man, do we have fun doing it. That's for sure.
I love it. So so now you've had that conversation with the couple and you've kind of found where the vibe and their energy is. How is your communication process, going forward? Most people will book about a year in advance, maybe 9 months or so, within that window. How do you stay engaged? I get to use the word engaged. How do you stay engaged with your couples? How are you there to assure them through the planning process up until the big day?
Don't your DJs just show up day of?
Yeah, well, we do. Yeah, I mean, it depends on if we've
No.
got our tuxedo T-shirts clean or not. And they look cool.
No, in fact, it's even part of our initial meeting. We actually don't even ask them to lock in all of their details, because when they are booking a year in advance, what's most important for us is that we have their date in our calendar.
Right.
We actually meet with them 6 months before. We meet with them again a month before to finalize everything. And then we even usually shoot them a text or give them a call the week before.
Sure.
So they know for sure who they're working with. They know what's coming along the way. We also have we're redoing our personal portal side of things, and so it'll be a brand new look this year. We invest a lot of money into our back end infrastructure that will be able to keep that constant communication with our couples through some automated emails that just let them know kind of, hey, this is what you should be thinking about this month.
Right.
This is what you should be going through. And then we always have an open door policy. I tell all the brides that I meet with, whether or not they book me or not, they have access to my phone number, and we're more than happy to have them call or text. And I've never had anyone text me that hasn't booked me, but I have, most days, I won't say most days, most weeks, you usually get a text, 1 or 2 texts from, hey, what color do you think these should be? Or hey, can you do a mashup for this dance? Or hey, did you remember we're doing a surprise? I'm not going to say what, because it's next week, and I hope they're not listening. And so mine and Megan's policy is a complete open door, open communication policy.
And that's
we
so important.
Love being accessible. My favorite, we had a bride call us at like 11:30 the 2 days before her wedding. She goes, I don't know what color to paint these palettes. And I said, we are your DJ, but yes, we will answer this question. And the palettes turned out fine.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Isn't there something on our Stress Free about messaging? A good system?
We have got a great communication system built right into the platform, Andrew. I think you bring up a very good point. If you are a registered couple on the platform, which, by the way, is free.
Yes.
And you can just go to ourstressfreewedding.com, and it's the very first link in our navigation system. Just click on it's almost dead center on the screen, and register right there. You can give us all your information. Once you are registered on the platform, you have access to our communication hub. And what the communication system does is it connects you with any vendor on the platform that you use for your big day. So it allows you even one more step to communicate with your DJ, communicate with your photographer, and we've even taken that a step further. You can communicate with your wedding party. You can even reach out to individual guests if you're feeling really crazy, as long as the guests are registered, and they can do that through RSVPing on your personal page, where you also have your own wedding page too built into the system. So yeah, we got all that stuff. But communication is so crucial, and I love that you've got some kind of hard contact dates, the 6 months out, 3 months out, 1 month out, but then also that open door policy, because if a bride wakes up at 11:30 at night and has a question, she wants that question answered as soon as possible. And it might be as simple as, what color are the palettes? It might be as simple as, are you actually, how many lights are you bringing? Just little things like that, which to you may be kind of inane and obvious. To them in the moment, especially coming with very little experience, it's huge. So communicating with your couples is massively important.
Reassuring that we got this.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So now you've taken things a step further. We've got full service DJ. We've got full service wedding planning and coordination. And this year, you've launched a little something called Black Tie Transportation.
Yes.
Tell me about
Super
that.
excited. It's still fresh. So it actually was a result, again, of trying to fill a need. So Megan has been doing all these wedding plannings. The one thing that we were always struggling with is to find transportation that was, again, a professional service, right? Someone that would respond. The thing we were hearing from is man, I reached out to this X company and I just haven't heard back from them, or they don't know what their prices are, or I have to go 2-3 hours away to find transportation, and to us that wasn't acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And so for about 6 months there, secretly lurking in the shadows, I've been looking for a limo, and one kind of just popped up on my radar here about 2 months ago, and we chatted back and forth, and I drug my brother, who's a mechanic, with me. I said, let's drive to Kentucky, and we drove 6.5 hours to Kentucky. We had to fix a brake line while we were there, and we drove 7.5 hours back because I didn't drive full speed back. But it was a long day, but we returned with a 32-foot long, 12-seater white limousine, and so it's already been out. Last weekend was its maiden voyage. We've got a phenomenal driver. He's so much fun. He fits right in with us, and Black Tie Transportation happens to fit in well with the black tie red suit kind of brand, and so we're having fun with it. We're definitely still trying to figure out exactly where our market share is, but man, it's been another journey, another adventure, and what's even more fun, I know we're talking weddings, but we're excited because it's also an opportunity to connect with the community again. We're planning to do lighted Christmas light tours this December around all the Christmas lights. Side tangent, I actually light up my house to Christmas music every single year, like program it, everything.
Are you you're that neighbor, aren't you?
Those guys, I am.
Yeah,
I love it.
you make
Started
me look
during
bad.
COVID because I didn't have enough to do. So we do that too. But our limo is just another opportunity for us to get involved in the community, to be able to connect with different organizations and different events. And it's just been something fun. It's exciting, and I'm excited to see what the year brings. We're definitely already picking up some traction, but my shameless plug, if you need a limo service, hop on our stress-free weddings and check out Black Tie Transportation.
Absolutely. And when you visit their listing on the platform, we also have Did I just go Sean Connery on this?
Sean Connery.
Say, we also have connections to all of your other social media. That's pretty good, Sean Connery.
That's pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah.
I could totally be Bond, James Bond, if he was 40 pounds overweight and wore glasses. So. But on the platform, you can visit their website. You can see their social media as well. We are a big fan, if you haven't figured this out yet, of communication and connections. We want you to be connected to your wedding professionals, to your vendors, because it is so important. Look at it this way. If your DJ, your photographer, your venue, your caterer, your limo driver, or your limo service, if they're as well informed as you are about your big day, it's better for everybody. You're going to be relaxed because the professionals got this. You got nothing to worry about. They're going to be relaxed because all of their questions are going to be answered as well, because that communication, that connection is what really ties it all together and makes it that much of a better experience for everybody, which is going to make your day even that much more memorable and amazing, right?
Everything runs so much smoother when we're all on the same page.
Oh, so much. You didn't put on your camera when you
No.
talked? What are you doing, new guy?
I'm bad at multitasking. Hold on.
He was just saying.
Take two.
He likes having more screen time, and he took himself off the screen. Sorry, Andrew's mom watches this show religiously. Sorry, Andrew's mom. It's not my fault. He's running the cameras, not me. There you go. All Andrew. It's the Andrew Minute. So as long as we're on Andrew, we are a little about midway through the show here. What should you do if you like what you see?
Like and subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the like and subscribe guy. That is your moment right there. But we do mean that, and we really appreciate it if you do. Liking and subscribing and following the show is going to help you out immensely, because we have amazing people like Logan on here talking about what he does and why he does it and why he loves it. And let's talk about that for a second. Why do you love what you do? I'm going to give you one of those kind of big, broad questions. Why do you love what you do? I got him all choked up. See?
Right. I'm trying to stay healthy for the wedding season here. I figure if I get sick, that better be now.
Right.
If couple reasons. One, if I didn't love it, I definitely still wouldn't be doing it. There's a lot that goes into being a wedding DJ, right? And Sean and Andrew, you guys know this as much as anyone else. It's not all the fun that you see in the front end. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of hard work. It's interacting with a lot of people. But the reason we do it, we have this insane ability for one night to make everyone forget about everything that's going on.
Ooh, I like that.
And
That's great.
and
Yeah.
we'll get a little bit deep here, right? The world right now is crazy.
Mhm.
The world last year was crazy. The world before that was crazy, and it kind of always will be. And so for this just 8 hours, we get to come in with some really fun toys and just make everyone kind of forget what's happening outside in the world, outside in what's happening, and just really reconnect. One as previous family, two as a new family, and three hopefully as new friends. And so we have this ability to bring people together, to give them an opportunity to relax, to have fun, to give them permission in this modern society to disconnect for just a little bit through the miracle of music and dance. We get to bring that to people, and I think anyone who's given that to someone or who has done it before, it's addicting. It's just something that you can't replace, and it doesn't have to be big parties. I mean, we worked all the way through COVID too, and some of those COVID weddings were just as special because the people wanted it that much more.
Oh,
Side
100%.
tangent, my wife and I were even a COVID wedding, and we made it through just fine. We get it. We get the COVID weddings,
Right?
but
Have you?
that-
My favorite thing about the COVID couples, they are just. I think I've said this on a couple shows. You know, all of our COVID couples should get a special award. I don't know, from the government or from somebody should give them some kind of special award for surviving the chaos of trying to plan their biggest day in a pandemic.
It's something nobody has, really ever been through before.
Not in any of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it's amazing. And have you noticed this? Have you noticed with a lot of the COVID couples, it's like they by the time they get to their reception, they're like, you know what? All of the official stuff that we had planned out, throw it away. I had a bride tell me straight up, she's like, all of this, we had first dances and parents' dances and toasts and speeches, and all of this stuff was all lined up and ready to go. And she got to the reception. She's like, okay, all of that, toss it. I just want to, well, she used a very creative term of drinking her behind off and then dance. That was the only thing she wanted for the rest of her night.
Just have fun.
They're just I think they're ready to celebrate even that much more. Have you experienced that, Logan?
we have, and we actually, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of the parties we've already done this year, and these people are just having fun.
Mhm.
They're ready to let loose. They're ready to see each other again, and it's less now. Last year was a little bit better, where they say it's just nice to see people again. But we also like using it as an excuse. There's a lot of modern brides, modern couples, I should say, that really are. Well, I don't know if I want to do the bouquet and garter toss. Well,
Right.
my mom and dad say I have to do it. And I say, no, hold up. You realize that there were people who got married during COVID in the middle of a pandemic that's never been done before. There are no rules anymore in the wedding industry.
Right.
We took the rule book, we threw it out. We said, what do you guys want? What's important for your day? Because COVID kind of opened that up.
Mhm.
We don't have to follow any convention anymore, because I guarantee in the last 2 years, if you have a crazy idea, someone did it, wanted to do it, or tried it. And so we use it as an excuse to have your wedding your way. And so that's we like it. We like that people are open to mixing it up, because we had to mix it up for a couple of years there.
Right.
And
See, it always
it's
comes
really
back to-
it's given us more creativity
For sure.
to have a lot more fun.
It always comes back to rule number one: what the bride wants, the
bride
bride
gets.
gets. It's as simple as that. That is kind of our creed. Rule number one: always what the bride wants, the bride gets. I even tell the new grooms, I'm like, dude, the sooner you realize you're not in charge, just smile and nod. That's all you got to do.
I tell them the same thing, so I'm glad we have the same message. So, dude, just figure it out sooner rather than later. It makes it a whole lot easier.
I've always made the jokes like, you get the guys like, I wear the pants in the family. I'm like, yeah, that's right, but I'll bet you your wife buys those pants and probably tells you which one you should wear that day. So it's just easier if you just join us.
That doesn't match. Fine.
Yeah, everyone always thinks that like I'm the face of electric entertainment, and I definitely started it. Like I said, I've been doing it longer than my wife, but anyone who really knows me knows that she's the one that really does runs pretty much all of it. If you get an email back and it says I signed it, I guarantee she did it.
So we're talking to
you
the
get-
wrong person.
No, because she's not a DJ, because she doesn't like being on a mic. And
Okay.
so there's a reason I'm a DJ, and there's a reason she's the planner. We definitely fit very well together. But yeah, if it comes to emails and responses and actually getting most of the back end work done, you're probably talking to Megan. Here's the little secret behind everything, and she does a great job.
That's
And
awesome. So,
yeah.
when she came up with getting certified and stuff, what was she? I would assume she was kind of starting to help you in the process prior to
Yeah.
that. So, and if you can kind of speak on her behalf, what drives her? I think I think women in the industry, especially as wedding planners and even as DJs, have a more unique perspective than us guys do. We were talking earlier today in our meeting when we were talking about the wedding show that we're planning in the fall, coming soon. You'll find out more information about it in just a little bit. Keep following us. But one of the things we talked about is how so many women will start thinking about their wedding day long before they're ever actually engaged, and not in the crazy "I'm getting married at exactly this day," but it's in the back of their minds. I can remember, and I've told this story before. My sister playing wedding when we were little, like she was 4 and I was 7, and then Sean, come play wedding with me, and I'd be like, I'm way too cool. Let me play with my Star Wars people. But so girls think about this a lot more than guys do, and so your wife's got a much more unique perspective than you're going to have. Is that fair to say? Is that accurate?
Yeah, and what was really interesting is she took the experience of planning our own wedding and used what she saw and liked or didn't like from some of our vendors and tied that into our services. So one of the things that she especially disliked when we were planning our own wedding, she said, man, they were always pressuring her to sign a contract right away, to make the deposit day of. And she's like, it was stressful when I planned my wedding. She said, so why would we do it to our couples? And so that mindset, that approach has changed the way that we do business, because she said, I don't want to be pressured. I don't want to be forced. And likewise, a lot of other things. She said some clients weren't great at communication. She said, we're going to be better at that. And I think that's really what drives her is how can we be that easy button for couples,
Yeah.
that this can be easy. It really, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It's nice to have a female voice to bounce ideas off of. She does a lot of the brainstorming with them. And I know you talked to Mojo a couple weeks ago about their female DJs. We actually have a female DJ too. She was the first DJ I actually brought on was a female. And I think some people find some reassurance in having just that kind of commonality with a DJ that gets it differently than us guys, right? Us guys are, well, we're just going to play rock and roll and AC/DC and have fun, right? No, they like that touch. And so we're happy to have that in our business. And again, my wife better watch this because I'm giving her all the praises that she deserves. But
Wait a minute, you mean she hasn't liked and subscribed with us yet?
What are we
I
doing?
haven't checked with her. I wanted to get on this show and be like, long time listener, first time interview. I was telling you off the air. I said I was at work because here's another crazy part. I don't do this full time, but it does feel like it.
Sure.
I was at work and I'm usually listening to a podcast of DJing, and I had you on earlier this week, and I was like, man, yeah, and here's my plug for your platform. I think other vendors should listen to other vendors.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of fun listening to some people that I already knew, but I got to know a little bit differently. And so I hope in playback, someone else listens to me and says, wow, that's cool to know. So
I fully agree. And we were again talking before the show even about like the wedding show that we're planning in the fall. You should stay tuned and follow closely. But you had made the joke about we could turn this almost like a big convention. Like we're gonna have the wedding show from like noon to 3. And from 3:30 to probably 11, it's all going to be all of us in the wedding business just sharing stories and sharing knowledge. But that actually it leads to a very strong, valid point. And like for me, I own a DJ service as well. Technically, you and I are competition. And I have never looked at other DJs as competition because like you said, you watch the show with Katie from Mojo. They've got so much to offer and great things to share, and they are a fantastic company. And I could say that all day long because they're amazing. I mean, like the research we did with you are clearly fantastic at what you do. And during the course of this conversation, hearing how you care about your couples. I mean, oh my gosh, you had the first really kind of go to, touch your heart moment there, talking about why you love what you do. I'm getting all mushy and stuff. I'm like, wow, gosh, I'm kind of shallow. But you did. It's absolutely fantastic. So connecting with other wedding professionals, whether it's on DJ levels, or DJs and photographers, or photographers and videographers, or all of us together, I think bringing everyone on the platform with our stress-free wedding is really, that's kind of part of the driving force of that, is bringing like-minded people, that like-mindedness being singly focused on making a couple's day amazing, is, I think, a great asset for everyone. So yes, I think other professionals in the business hopefully watch this and get something from that too. Maybe they think, maybe they're relatively new. Maybe they think, hey, this is someone I can learn from. I mean, there's a lot that's there.
Yeah, we love when a bride, we ask this during a consultation. We say, do you know who your videographer is? Do you know who your photographer is? And we had one couple, they told us who their videographer and photographer was, and our eyes must have lit up. And they said, do you know him? I said, we have the most fun time whenever we work with this photographer or this videographer. And there's just a couple people, not a couple, there's a lot actually. There's just some vendors that we really, really enjoy working with, and it just makes it all that much more fun. There's a couple of venues down here, and if they ever watch this, they know exactly who they are, because they know we're always hanging out with them at the bridal shows and expos. But we have some of our closest friends happen to be in the industry, and we just have fun when we work together. And so having that community of people that really are one, looking out for the quality, but also if you find people that work well together, I think you just get a bonus at your wedding. I mean, It is about the couple. It is about making sure it works great, but don't you also want to see your vendors? I tell you what, when we have a photographer that we really like, sometimes we'll sneak in an extra effect because we know they'll take great pictures. and so like it's this added bonus of like, yeah, it is a lot of fun working with these people.
But that that positive energy makes it that much of a better experience for the couple too. If the photographer and the DJ are all getting along, the videographer, and everybody's on the same page. Again, you guys can all be friends and all be having a blast. That just adds that much more to the party, because you can have fun and still be professional at what you're doing.
And I think it's really important, Sean, that you said technically we're competition, right? I think it's more important that we change that mindset too. I just had, I have a lot of local DJs calling. We all have each other's phone numbers down here. And so we're texting, hey, can I borrow this week? Yeah, sure, whatever. Hey, I need this, or I got this bride and what have you. I think it's great having that network of DJs, because if we're booked, which I'm sure every one of the DJs that is a professional gets booked out on weekends, right? There's no more opportunities. But if we know other professional DJs that we can say, you know what, I can't cover that one, but here's someone that I do trust. Here's someone that is going to treat it the same way that I would treat it. And we're lucky to have that Rolodex of people. But really what you're doing with your platform is saying this is the entire Rolodex. So anyone on here is going to fit that criteria. And
yeah, you mentioned a couple photographers and venues that you love hanging out with. I think we have to have a conversation here and get them on the platform there, sir.
Love to.
That would be the best way to have them watch the show. You know what you do is you send them the link to this show and say, see, you can be on the show next.
Told you.
These guys aren't making it up. It's true. We are sincerely trying to make this better experience for, obviously our couples first, but a better experience for all of our professionals too. You're 100% right. That communication, that camaraderie, that friendship between like-minded professionals is the goal. I mean,
we have one goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing that we look for professionals on the platform, is that love of what they do. You're not just showing up and collecting a paycheck on Saturday. It's not just bonus money. You are aware of the fact that your actions for those next 8 hours or 5 hours or however long you're there are going to directly impact that couple's day for the rest of their lives. I mean,
and we
that's
only get
something.
one shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy, right?
You don't get, let's do it again on Monday. No, you do. And I mean, that's something that I use like during the interview process with DJs at Alter Entertainment. I tell them, like, hey, how do you want to be remembered? 10 years on that couple's 10-year anniversary, 15-year anniversary, 40 anniversary. It doesn't matter. Pick the number down in the future. You can say the exact same sentence with two different sentiments. You know, it can be, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe we had Andrew from Alto Entertainment, and you're all excited. Or it can be, oh my gosh, do you remember that we had Andrew from Alto Entertainment?
Which has never happened.
Which has
like
never
that.
happened, right? But it's the same sentence, two different sentiments. And everybody who's got that same well, you brought it up when you talked about, you know, your clients up in the Decorah area, outside of your local area. People are obviously looking back and remembering Logan from It's Electric Entertainment in that way, because you're still getting bookings from previous events from years prior, right?
You bet. Yeah. And we do love getting back up there. My parents love it because it's the only time they see me during the wedding season. Is my mom goes, what weekends do you have weddings up here? And we do. We pencil them into her calendar because that's the only time she sees us. And I've got nephews and nieces up that way too. So it's an added bonus to get up there. But I do love I love my Northeast Iowa family. I have to shout out that's actually where I started. I started DJing my own school dances, believe it or not. In high school, I DJ'd my own dances, and I almost DJ'd my own prom, believe it or not. I DJ'd prom the year after I graduated, because that's when I got into it, and that's really what I.
So what I'm hearing is Logan didn't have a date to his prom.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I did for a couple years, but.
So how did you figure out that this is what you want? You know, you said you DJ'd a little bit in high school. How did you figure out, you know what, this is a gig I can do?
Yeah.
What was is there like a moment that clicked? You know, how did you kind of arrive there?
I was still doing it through college, and I was living in Wisconsin and still driving about 2 hours back to that Decorah area again to DJ. And I said, I'm leaving college to go DJ weddings. I feel like most people don't do this, and I just kept doing it. And excuse me, I said I would have quit if I hated it. I would have quit if it wasn't fun anymore, and I would have quit. And I think I genuinely hope I do quit when it's not fun anymore.
Right.
I still get those butterflies whenever I first get on that mic.
Right.
And I laugh because Mojo said the same thing. I'm like, that's what I do. I do that. And I still get that butterfly moment. And that's what I live for. And so I think what really clicked in my head is when I bought my first sound system, and I had to borrow money from my dad and said, I think I want to do this. Will you loan me? I think it was $1,200, and I drove all the way up to Madison, Wisconsin to pick it up. And it was my first sound system, and I still have it. I just don't use it anymore. And that was the moment that I said, yeah, I'm a DJ now, right? And I made a name, and I had the old vinyl poster that Megan hated, and we don't bring anymor. But when you see your name and you show up, right? You have one too?
The old vinyl ones? Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you there is still one probably in our basement somewhere at home. I'm sure that moved when we moved. I got to look because that would have our old logo on it. I mean, that goes back centuries.
Mine's hanging in the garage over the old gear, and I put it up there just kind of as a reminder of where we started from and
right
now kind of where we are. It's fun. So I hate to say that I do it because I would have quit already, but I like the adage. They say you can tell what's important to someone based on where they spend their money and spend their time, and DJing's not cheap or low time, and so keep spending money, keep spending time on it. So must clearly be important.
I love it,
and it is.
I love it. So what's your favorite moment at a reception?
Favorite moment at a reception. I'm really big at. It's kind of a new trend. The last dance, the private last dance, and I didn't think I would be, but we had a wedding last year that, for no fault of our own, it was just a hectic day. It was crazy. It was hot. People weren't showing up and whatever. And at the end of that day, we were able to take the bride and the groom back to their ceremony location, which was the chapel. And we turned off all the music and we put on a spotlight and we played their first dance again. And to this day, I still get like chills down my spine of just seeing this couple relaxing and realizing that whether or not the wedding worked, whether or not people showed up, whether or not the centerpieces were perfect, they were the couple that I have no doubt in my mind that will be dancing 50 years at that anniversary dance again. And that moment to me is really special. And that's it's a cool tradition that's coming, and anyone that might listen to this, I would advocate definitely, absolutely find someone that will let you do that.
Yeah.
So that moment's cool. But if we're pulling out of like that one particular moment, I love. I think I love that first dance.
Me too.
When
That's
we
my favorite.
actually can, when we can bring the families together, and usually these families don't know each other.
Right.
Cousin Bob doesn't know cousin Denise.
Bob,
And
see?
Bob, yeah.
I know.
He's
Remember,
everywhere.
I told you, long time watcher, first time interview. I saw Bob. So when you can
You're
bring
my
the families
favorite
together,
guest. Don't tell anybody.
when you can bring the families together for that first dance, especially when I can get like grandma and grandpa out there, that's really cool. Just to bring them all together and have fun. And when you notice that they realize, yeah, we can cut loose. Usually, to me, that first dance after the formal dances, that's when people are like, okay, now we're at a dance. Now we can relax.
Okay.
Now the bow ties can loosen up a little bit. We can hit the bar a little bit heavier.
Right.
Toasts are done right, and that's the moment that they have fun, and that's
So true. And you're right. You know, I think one of the neat things about weddings that people sometimes it's so obvious, but you don't realize it. You had mentioned, you know, the families don't know each other that well. If you take the wedding out of the equation for just a second, what you have is two big family reunions, and so you've got, you know, multiple levels of celebration built into the reception because families getting back together and reconnecting, and then you've got the new families getting together and meeting each other. So Uncle Bob gets to be part of the party as well. It's just so cool how it all comes together. I mean, I'm still, after a million years of doing this, I'm still in awe of the moment. I really am. You know, and Logan has been much better at articulating it than I am. So I'm going to give him full credit on the mushy side, dude, because that was awesome. I love it.
These are moments that will probably never happen again. These are people that will never stand together in the same room together, and we get to be there for it. And so it's again, if I never got paid to DJ again, I'd still be doing it. I'd do it less. I guarantee I'd do it less, but I'd still be doing it. I guarantee.
It'd be nice to know what a Saturday off in June is actually like.
Yeah. Or like, I'd like to not have to plan things a year and a half in advance.
Right,
like
right.
My own thing. Be like, people like, when are you free? I'm like, have you considered 2024?
When are you available? January.
Yeah.
February. You get 2 months. You get a 2-month window, and then busy. So my favorite question to always ask everybody, and you kind of squashed it because you already said that you have got a great working relationship with other DJs. But my favorite question to always ask everybody is: couple comes to you. They love you. They can't wait to hire you. They are just beyond excited. And you're
Happens all the
completely
time.
booked. Right? I believe that because you've got a much cooler microphone than we have, which I'm still not happy about.
Come on,
This
Tom.
came with the red jacket. It's the Jersey Boys look, man.
Dude,
What are we doing here?
we are slacking on
Yeah.
spectacular.
You're making us look
level-
bad.
Honestly.
This one doesn't make it out to weddings as much as it used to. This used to be my announcement mic, and the number of comments that I got on this mic was and it's kind of been retired. It's like my podcast mic now. It's kind of sits in the office, but yeah, it was fun. But what do I look for in competition?
What do you look for? What do you suggest them to look for? Yep. What would you tell that couple that really wants you?
I like to say, as long as you find a professional, we all have the same gear. We all have the same access to music. We all have approximately the same packages. I'd like to think. I don't think there's anything in my garage that any other DJ couldn't come up with.
Right.
And so I always tell them, find someone that fits with you. And I think it's important that we fit with our clients as much as they fit with us. And so it's that, again, mushy side of things, but it's the feel good check, right? If you sit down with them and you say, yeah, I can see this person being at my wedding, that's what's important. And so usually when I do need to recommend other DJs, I would recommend to DJs that I would hire for my own wedding, which in retrospect I should have done. I should have, but and I have had family friends that I've DJ'd 2 or 3 of the kids, and that third one didn't book me soon enough. It just happened actually just recently, and they said, who can you recommend? I said, I've got a list of people that are going to treat you as good as I treat you, and they booked with them, and I couldn't be happier to give that bride a great day. And so that's we actually refer I don't know about you guys. We refer probably as many gigs as we book. We probably give away about as many as we get. That's just the way it works. That's how it happens. And so we want to make sure that if we are recommending someone, they are someone we would trust. And that's why I actually recommend calling a DJ, even if you think they might be booked, because usually they can get you another good DJ. Usually a bride will call me and I'll be like, let me just send out a quick mass text. And I've got like 3 DJs that I'm like, are you free? Yep, good. I can usually book DJs out pretty easily.
Absolutely. And and you brought up kind of the key point is that someone that will treat that couple's wedding as if it was their own. That's a good kind of place to idle for any of us in the wedding business, is that that's my expectation at every wedding, is I'm going to treat them like it was my wedding. I want that same memory, that same amazing feeling that I had, and I think that is so crucial. And you're dead on. I think that is absolutely fantastic, dude. This has been awesome. This has been a great conversation. Is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that you would like to share, to add, to bring in? The stage is yours, sir.
I don't know. I don't want to. We've got some kind of cool ideas we're bringing to our experience. And it's not new gear. It's how we approach things. And so if you're a current couple or a future couple, look out for this is where I get a plug. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We actually had a TikTok kind of go semi-viral again, thanks to Megan. We are always trying to change the way we do things and do things differently. And so I mean, I've let brides scratch on my turntables before, and I've got some really cool effects that the couples can actually fire off themselves, and we're always trying to do different and fun things you've never seen before. So if you haven't checked us out before, I would recommend. We've got some videos on YouTube that are awesome. Again, Megan put them together. I just perform. I just show up, perform. But
so what you're saying is they should like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. You just hit Andrew's wheelhouse right there.
Yeah, we're just always trying to change the industry, make sure we're progressing forward, doing things that you haven't seen before, and so that's we have a lot of fun doing it. And so if you want to see something different, if you want to see something that hopefully you haven't seen before, hopefully check us out. We have fun.
I love it. It all starts at ourstressfreewedding.com. You can look them up. It's Electric Entertainment. Actually, if you go to our vendor page and type in the word "it's," because they are the only one on the listing that has "it's" as your starting title. So it literally takes 4 keystrokes, IT''S, and their listing will come right up. You'll be able to check it out. And one of the neat things about the platform, by the way, if you are not sure if you should actually like and subscribe, we'll give you this nice little bonus. You do not have to be registered on the platform to take advantage of the professionals that are on our site. Maybe you've already got your own wedding page set up. Maybe you've already got kind of the infrastructure of your wedding already established. So you don't need the other resources that we have for couples. That's okay. We'll miss you, but that's okay. But we do have amazing pre-qualified people like Logan, like this. Everyone's got that same mindset. If you find a professional on our platform, they are going to do nothing but focus on making your day amazing. That's why they're there. It's so huge.
So easy. It's so easy.
You would think. But yes, it is. Well, it's really easy to do. If you go there, ourstressfreewedding.com, check it out. And you can go to It's Electric Entertainment. You'll be able to check out Black Tie Transportation. There is so much there, and they are going to take amazing care of you. Logan, I'm so glad you took the time to talk to us, man. It is great, and I love the long-time listener, first-time guest on here. I guess we'll have you on again. That way you don't get to say that anymore. So.
I'm going to come up to visit you. I am. One of those weddings that are up north, I think is actually in your area. So I do get up there about 3 or 4 times a year. I'll call you up.
Yeah, we'll have you actually come live. Hopefully by then we'll have our studio. We're building a studio.
I heard. Again, long-time listener.
Dude.
He knows.
I know.
He has liked and
We got to get Bar
subscribed.
Candy to come up and bring us some of those drinks.
Got a whole
That's trouble,
refrigerator full of it. I think Bar Candy has come up in
They've
more
got
shows.
more plugs, yeah.
If you want to know what we're talking about, go to ourstressfreewedding.com, type in bar candy. A little free plug for them because you know them as well. So, we can kind of a little cross promotion as well. Oh, man. Dangerously delicious. I think that should be her slogan. Dangerously delicious, because you don't realize what's hitting you until after you drink it all and you're like,
She's like the one vendor I hate to see at events because we don't drink at events. And
Right.
So I'm like, I can't.
Oh,
I can't.
man.
But like free smells. And so we appreciate
But
it.
delicious desserts too, though.
Yeah, you can partake of
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we had to do her show in 2 takes, because in the first take, I had a big glob of ice cream stuck on my face from, what was it? Apple pie, I think I had.
You had apple pie.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, refocusing.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, coming up on our next show, we have got a photographer with us, Colby Campbell Photography, and this is kind of a cool show because you know him really
A
well.
buddy of mine from college, him and I, we participated not in college athletics. Look at me, but more on the outside of
You guys cheered together. Well, not cheered.
in a nutshell, sure.
That's coming up next. It's going to be a great conversation. He's based out of the Des Moines area, if I remember right. Yeah, and he's coming up to talk to us in person. Not like Logan.
Yeah, he gets to experience the. We got a little bar candy in the fridge, so
it's
an incentive.
It is an incentive, absolutely. Hey, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to listen to us babble on. This has been an amazing show. Logan from It's Electric Entertainment and Black Tide Transportation. This guy has got the heart, he's got the knowledge, he's got the experience, and he's got the heart. I'm going to say that twice because he wins on the mushy scale.
Yes, twice as much heart as...
Twice as much heart? No, I'm not. No. You just... Go ahead. No. Hey, thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe and spread the word. Please help us out. We would love to have you on the platform with us. Take full advantage of everything that we have to offer. Andrew, it's been a pleasure as always, sir.
Until next time, friends.
Hey, you guys have a stress-free day.